Welcome back, gamers. Today I have a story so scary it will make the control freaks fly off your joystick. Get a bowl of Doritos and crack open a Mountain Dew, but make sure you have enough to share, because if a gamer shows up at your door, you better give him a Mountain Dew. Nothing was out of the ordinary that night. I just came home from work and wanted to make some food and watch some YouTube videos. This was my daily ritual to wind down after a long day at work. I sat down on the couch and turned on the TV to boot up the YouTube app. As I scrolled through the suggested videos, I saw some from my favorite YouTubers such as PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, and Vanoss Gaming. But I was looking for the latest upload from my favorite YouTuber, GGames2747, the greatest gamer of all time. He teased in his last video that he was going to play a horror game and upload it tonight on Halloween. I've been thinking about watching it my whole shift at work today. The dread of waiting for the clock to reach the end of your shift is a feeling that we are all used to. But little did I know that it was going to be the second worst thing that will happen that night. I went directly to his channel after cracking a Mountain Dew to find the video I've been searching for a few minutes. But there was no new video, and I was distraught, then filled with anger. Why would he do this to us? Lie about an upload? At that moment, there was a knock at my door. I went over to my front door and swung it open, and I was greeted by two teens in costumes. One was dressed up as William Afton from the Five Nights at Freddy's games, which was a purple shirt, cargo pants, and a hat ripped off a Spirit Halloween costume, and what appeared to be purple marker on his skin. The other was dressed up as the streamer Drewski, which was a fake beard and a pillow under a fake designer jacket to act as body fat. As they were about to say trick or treat, I cut them off and said, "Scram, kids! I don't have any candy for kids who put no effort in their costumes." They were visibly upset with my attitude and annoyed with the lack of candy, so they called me a chud as they ran away. I was about to close my door when I heard a little voice say, "I don't think you're a chud." I was confused until I looked down and saw a kid no older than 10 years old looking up at me with a twinkle in his eye, smiling from ear to ear, wearing a Minecraft shirt and some sort of track pants. I said, "Look, kid, even if I had candy, I'm not giving it to some airhead who's not even dressed up as anything." Before he could respond, I cut him off and said, "I got nothing for you." As I was about to shut the door, he said, "Mountain Dew." I paused. "What?" "You could give me a Mountain Dew from that box," he said. "You're not getting a Mountain Dew," I snapped. Then I slammed the door in his face. I walked back to the living room and sat down on the couch, and after a brief moment, my face went pale. I was looking at the YouTube channel page for GGames2747 and realized that kid was him. But it couldn't be. That would be impossible. The real YouTuber's in his 20s, and that photo of him is from when he was something like 10. But that was the exact face I saw on my doorstep. The same smile, the same shirt. It was a one-to-one. I grabbed a Mountain Dew and I ran back to the door, but when I opened it, nobody was there. That was when the lights began to flicker. I slammed my door shut and locked it with the deadbolt. The room began to shake. Photos fell off the wall. Books flew from the shelf. The table and couch were moving from the vibration. I tried to run, but the shaking caused me to lose my balance, and I fell to the floor. When I awoke, everything was still. No more shaking, no more noise, no more chaos. Like a forest in the dead of winter. But there was no more light. It was pitch black, and I was deathly afraid. I tried to feel my way around, but I had no idea where I was in my own home, with everything on the floor. That was when my TV turned on. It gave off a dim red glow, but it was enough for me to see my house was completely wrecked, as if a giant picked it up and shook it. I made my way to my couch, which was the only surface free of debris. When I sat down on the couch was when I saw what was on the TV. It was the YouTube homepage for GGames2747, but different. The page had a red theme as opposed to the dark theme I set it. It said EvilTube in the corner, and the channel was named eGames666. I was shocked at this terrifying homepage, but when I saw the videos, I was sick to my stomach. Some of the titles included, "What flamethrower works best on the homeless?" Another said, "I was St. James Island pizza eating champion of 2014. Another said, "How many people can I compress into a shipping container?" These titles were disgusting, but I clicked on the next one, which was called "My Adrenochrome Harvesting Setup," and hit play.
Shalom, my viewers. This is Evil Game 666, and today I'm going to showcase my adrenochrome harvesting setup. Before I get to the specs, I'll run it once so you can see how it works. So here I have this small child that I've injected with fear-inducing psychedelics, and I had prepped in my scare chamber for 7 hours. The chamber was donated by my good friend, Ghislaine Maxwell, and the setup makes it as simple as throwing the kid in the juicer and harvesting the adrenochrome on the other side after a few.
I paused the video. I couldn't bear it anymore. I vomited on the floor in front of me. It was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life. Before I could even gather my senses, a notification popped up in the corner, and my heart sank. eGame 666 was live, and the thumbnail was my front door. I clicked on it and tuned in.
Shalom, my viewers. Today I'll be live streaming a murder. I've killed about 567 people, but this will be my first time doing it live. I'd like to thank my friend and Congressman Randy Fine for sponsoring this stream.
I could hear the voice from the TV and on the other side of the door. I quickly began to shuffle through the wreckage of my house with what light I had from the TV to navigate.
It sounds like our victim is making a lot of noise, so we're going to have to kick this door down to get at them quick.
The kicking started. My heart was pounding out of my chest. I began to climb faster towards the hallway. Adrenaline was pushing me through the pain of broken objects I stepped on. I made it around the corner and halfway towards my bedroom before I heard the door fly open and crash onto the floor. It was dead silent. I didn't move a muscle. I saw the beam of a flashlight comb the living room. Then it stopped on a smear of blood leading to the hallway. I hadn't realized, but in my scuffle across the living room, I had cut myself on broken glass, and have consequently led him straight to me. I heard the slow step coming towards me. I was frozen in fear. I couldn't move. The beam of light grew until it swung around, and then it was shining in my face. A small figure with glowing red eyes was staring at me, with a knife in hand.
We found them, chat.
I tried to get up and run, but he lunged at me. I flew up in a cold sweat, and I found myself lying on my couch, still in my work clothes, and I realized that I was dreaming the whole thing. A sigh of relief. I checked my phone and I had a missed call from my boss. He left a voice message. "Hey, there was a gas leak at the shop, and we have the fire department here, and they called specialist group to contain it. I was told that every employee that was in today needs an evaluation at the hospital as soon as possible. They said if you're experiencing any dizziness or hallucination..." I paused the voice message because I heard enough. I really think I'm suffering under these symptoms. I went to go call my friend to give me a ride because I am clearly not fit to drive. That's when I heard a knock at my door. I went over and opened the door, and what I saw made my blood freeze. It was the greatest gamer of all time. "Trick or treat!" I walked backwards over to my pack of Mountain Dew, never breaking eye contact with the kid. I grabbed a can of Baja Blast and I handed it to him. He said, "Thanks!" and he walked away. I watched as he walked away and down the street until he blended in with the rest of the kids out trick-or-treating, and then I shut the door. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Otherwise, make sure you have a pack of Mountain Dew at your front door. You're gonna need it.